you do something to get away from feeling that pain ever again. But no matter where you go, there you are. You have to go back and face that shit at some point in time. And the longer you take, the bigger the fear gets. How can you talk about sex and mental health on the same platform? Because it's my show, damn it. Honestly, I talk about what the fuck I want to talk about. Don't get me wrong. I understand there's a responsibility of like speaking to folk, but I mean, how could we talk about mental health if it wasn't for sex? Think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no being here today without sex. You know what I mean? And mental health is a part of everything that we do. It's just, to me, I believe that mental health is just something that just talks about the study of ourselves, the study of our mind and everything that we go through. And if you're sexually active, then motherfucker, that's what the fuck you to talk about. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So how can you talk about it? Why not? Why not, man? Who doesn't love the understanding of themselves, and who doesn't love sex? You know what I'm saying? Honestly, that's my logic on it. I mean, it's something that you love to discuss. And it makes the most sense. And there's nothing like being able to, like I would say, connect the dots on a lot of shit. And sex has a way of of doing so. Yeah, so for me, like I said, I talk about any fucking thing I want to on here, honestly. These are just things that come up in my head. Now, lately, it's been a lot of like the mental health shit and a little bit of like the sex thing, but I'll touch on anything. I believe that for those that do watch, understand that, you know what I'm saying? Whatever comes up, man, I just like a good conversation. I love to pick my own brain, pick other people's brains, and have my brain picked. You know what I'm saying, by my mentors, by my peers, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't put anyone above anybody when it comes to knowledge, you know what I'm saying? You never know what you might learn. You know who really could teach us something about mental health? Kids. Just talk to kids, you know what I'm saying? Ask them like questions in regards to what we, you know what I'm saying, especially that we want to know, but ask a child. A child, if they haven't been domesticated already, is going to answer in the most honest way. And it can, you'd be surprised with the shit that you hear come out of a kid's mouth. But back to the, the subject at hand, I mean, I just feel like, those of us who use sex as you mistook sex for love. You know what I'm saying? I know I lived a long time for that, you know what I'm saying, doing so. But I mean, I'm also a guy. And it's not to say there's a double standard, but there's a double standard when it comes to like, when it comes with women. You know what I'm saying? Like a woman has to reserve her value while a man has to build his. You know what I'm saying? It's like you already come into the world with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just my belief, and it's not something that I would say I had anything to do with. This was happening long before I was even here. I think this is more of this, so according to society. That is, you know what I'm saying? Now, there's women that are like, fuck that, I'm gonna do what I wanna do, and she can take whatever comes with that. That's much respect, more power to you. There's no judgment, none of that shit. What we're talking about is like how things work in society. Like you as a black man getting pulled over by the cops, you are gonna feel uneasy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just being the white guy at the basketball court with nothing but the bras. you'd be hard pressed to believe that somebody's not going to say something to you, whether it be insecurities, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just these things in society that just happens. You know what I mean? Look at, talking more about society, look at how Lizzo is treated, you know, as far as like wearing the shit that she wears. Now, she was built like, you know, I don't know, got big titties, small waist, nice thighs, curves, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't say shit. Don't get me wrong, there'll still be women that are probably intimidated or insecure about their figures. Again, like the Super Bowl shit, like all the moms that had issues with Shakira and J.Lo on the Super Bowl, like their bodies and shit like that. There was no issue. Now, I want us to think about if Lizzo were to perform at the Super Bowl, and again, it's not picking on her. I'm just pointing out how society does things. But imagine if she were to do the Super Bowl and doing the things that we know she can do on the fucking internet, you know what I'm saying? Like in front of all those people, you know what I'm saying? She bold enough to do it. Like, don't get me wrong, she bold enough to do it, and much respect for that type of courage. But it's gonna come with some, it's gonna come with some talk, and you know what I'm saying. And if you are strong enough to not worry about what people think of you, sure. But I mean, we're naturally tribal people, so acceptance is something that it's hard for us to like do away with. But like I said, getting back on, I ramble all the time, and I'm sure you appreciate the rambling. But like sex and mental health, it's just part of it. Those of us that, you know, grew up mistaking sex for love, you know, that's what we would do. We would do that. We would find ourselves getting involved with a lot of people that we didn't necessarily really have a thing for. I know I was, especially me in my 20s, when I was just trying to figure shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like with sex, it's understanding chemistry, right? You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what they call a sapiosexual. You have to have a connection in order to like really be turned on or whatever it is. I forget the actual, I don't know, Webster's dictionary term of it. But you know what I'm saying? Having like an actual connection or some shit. Like it has to be some rapport built. In order for it to be, I would say, great sex, if you will. You know what I'm saying? There has to be some form of like connection there. But there's a lot of us, man, that got caught up in our own insecurities, felt unloved, and we decided that, you know what, I'm gonna do this to get love. You know what I'm saying? And before you know it, you think you're in control, and then it's in control. And you have no way of stopping it, and then you get yourself in situations where you're not exactly sure how you even got here, and you want to, you may even want to check out, but you know you've involved other people involved in this shit, and it can be overwhelming at times trying to manage those, you know what I'm saying, those thoughts, and that's what I had to go through. I felt that I had to go through. I believe I went through that situation, and I can attest that stuff with a perfect example of sex and mental health is porn addiction. You know what I'm saying? And you know my years of like with the porn addiction, it reframes how you view women. It reframes how you deal with emotions. Because, especially for me, because I mean, some people looked at it. Some people look at porn for like pleasure and shit like that. It started off as pleasure, and then it became an escape from dealing with life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like running away from everything. You know what I'm saying? Imagine just a whole bunch of imagine a Kuna Matata symbol running for 12 fucking years of you know what I'm saying, of his life. And like not wanting to have to deal with those emotions that come up because of the pain. It's such a strong pain, and you know you deal with a strong pain, and then you do something like whether it's porn, whether it's drugs, alcohol, you do something to get away from feeling that pain ever again. But no matter where you go, there you are. You have to go back and face that shit at some point in time, and the longer you take, the bigger the fear gets, and the closer you get to facing your fear, the smaller it gets. So it's like those things, you know, that come up. So it's like I say, sex and mental health, how they all coincide. Is that, I mean, that's one example. You know, the whole aspect of like meaningless sex that I'm sure we've all done. somewhere along the lines, and then or we thought it was, or somebody just tampered with us. You know what I'm saying? We allowed an individual in, and we felt a certain way about them, and then we realized, that it wasn't as strong as it could have been. You know what I mean? And hurt people hurt people, but even more, healed people heal people. So yeah, hurt people hurt people, but healed people heal people. So I mean, it's nothing to take personal. Nothing for any of us to take personal. More so for us to just look inside ourselves and like, exactly what are we doing here, and how much do we love ourselves, and realizing how an individual may have not loved themselves, and they projected their insecurities and their pain onto us. So it's learning to deal with your own self and build yourself up. But the way that I take care of everybody else is by taking care of me. And so how can one talk about sex and mental health on the same platform? I don't think it gets any better than that. Yes. Yeah. All right. Thoughts on Kanye's recent antics. So, for those who don't know, Kanye recently released a shirt that said "White Lives Matter." Honestly, I could give a fuck less what Kanye does. I don't put celebrities on pedestals anymore like I did at one point in time. I don't look up to Kanye. Do I get inspired musically by him as a producer? Sure, I do. I love the way he samples. I love the mind that he has for music. As for what he does outside of his job, I could give a fuck less, man. I mean, he's already told us that, slavery was a choice, and a whole bunch of other shit that has people turning their heads, about about Kim wanting to abort his kid, and, running for president, working for Jesus, and then turning around and saying that he wants to kill what's the boy Pete Davidson. You know what I'm saying? Now what is he coming at Justin Bieber's wife, and you know what I mean? John Legend. The list goes on. You know what I mean? Attack Talib Kweli on Drink Champs sometimes, and honestly, there's a bigger issue at hand when it comes to Mr. West. And I love that he made a song called "Wake Up, Mr. West." I hope that he's able to one day wake up in a mental institution where he really can have something to work on. I think there's something more deep-rooted going on. And I'm not going to use my platform here to tear down someone who I can see clearly has issues with mental health. So I mean, I just really don't pay attention to the things that transpires with Kanye West. I mean, there's so much that can be said, but he just does a lot of things that make headlines. What do they call that? It's shock value. Yeah. He does a lot of things for shock value. He's been doing that musically. He's been doing that in his personal life. George Bush does not care about black people, and there's just been a lot of changes. He's in his mind. I know that he's going through some things, and I wish him well. I truly do. I don't wish anything bad upon the young man. I call him young man, but obviously older than me, but you get what I mean. I don't wish anything negative towards him. I wish him positive and healing energy. I want him to recognize like the bridges his issues are doing to the people in his life, and not to mention that the internet is forever, and our children are going to see us. And it can play a toll on them when they go to school. What the hell wrong with your daddy, girl? North, North. The hell wrong with your daddy? You know what I'm saying? Questions that can arise. You know what I'm saying? But the bigger issue is what is going on inside. Like, fuck what the cry for helps is what these things are to me. I believe that, you know, these things are nothing but a cry for help. And I wish that he would calm the fuck down, sit down somewhere and really go speak with, you know, a doctor, speak with someone who can really help him. Because if he doesn't, then he's, I don't wish anything ill upon him. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, we've seen people like this in the limelight spiral out of control, and then, you know, and then something catastrophic occurs. I'm not going to speak on it, so I don't wish that upon anybody. But I do want him to be able to catch himself while he can. I mean, I don't know the pressures of being in front of like so many people and trying to make it so bad, losing like your moms, and then having to deal with people like the way that he does, and with music, with you know what I'm saying, acceptance and his own insecurities that he has inside, and then being an inspiration for a group of people who love music, love sampling, you know what I'm saying, music producers like myself, and you know what I'm saying, and like it's different, like it's so different, like the Kanye from '04 to Kanye now it's just different. Even with watching like the J.E.T.Sense documentary, it really had you like, damn man, Kanye did a lot of stuff. But you get to see, you know, the gradual shift in how he treated people, and how he felt he was treated. So again, you know, hurt people, you know what I mean? But what do I think about Kanye's recent antics? To me, it's no different than the shit he's been doing. What questions run through your mind for women? People I've encountered in my life, okay? Don't you get tired of being in pain? Don't you get tired of living in chaos? Tired of living in toxicity? And what makes you draw yourself back in to something that clearly is not it doesn't do anything for you. You know what I mean? It doesn't benefit you mentally. You know what I mean? Like succumbing to fears. And then there's like, do you see like the nice guys, right? You know, I give a lot of shit about us men being nice guys and shit like that. But you recognize like when a guy is just downright nuts about you, right? And he's willing to do anything. Unfortunately, I mean, that's a gift and a curse there. No, willing to do anything. But how can you see a guy and he puts you on this pedestal, right? And then you still shit on him. You know what I mean? You know, I'm just thinking about over my life and over just like men we come across, and I'm sure women have questions for men and all that stuff too, and you know, that's always welcome for those. So if there's anyone that has questions for men, please put a comment under, you know what I'm saying, like the video. That'd be awesome, that'd be dope. That would get the conversation like going wherever, you know, whether it's through social media, whether it's through YouTube and shit. But what I'm saying is like recognizing how dope that you are. You know, some women, you know, I mean, of course, some women do recognize how dope they are. But like for those that just deal with like low self-esteem and shit because somebody at some point in your life said something that defined you, and you accepted it, and you didn't have to accept it, but I mean, you were young, you didn't know any better. But do you know how dope you are? I mean, just how much, like, again, if you just focused and invested in yourself, and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Like how remarkable that your beauty is. Like, I mean, we see internet, so much, and it be women that women get like so many followers just off of beauty alone. Now imagine, granted, you worked on your beauty and you also invested into yourself and your mind and the things that you can do. I mean, it's just super dope. It's just super dope to me. That of I would say the qualities of a woman say their the potential. You know what I'm saying? If one investing in oneself. And what other questions roll through my mind? Why in the fuck do women like to have conversations right before motherfuckers go to sleep? You know what I'm saying? Like, what in the, like, I'm talking about serious conversation, not like no bullshit, but like literally something that could have been talked about at like 3 in the afternoon, ain't nobody working, no nothing. And then when it's time to go to sleep, and you know that both people are tired, you're tired, he tired, or she tired, whatever, you know what I'm saying, what I'm saying, whatever your mate is. Why you wait until like it's time to go to sleep to be like, can I ask you something? And that's another motherfucking thing that I have a question about. How is it that when you text people, you don't ask them can you text something, and you ask questions all the time. But for whatever reason, it's like, can I ask you something? It's no different than the other text messages you've been asking questions on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is it's funny and annoying and and many other things. But that's just I just think about you know what I'm saying, like shit like that. Another thing, why are you so worried about worried about other fucking women? You know what I mean? There's no competition. There's no competition to you. As long as you're working on your better self, there's no fucking competition, like worry about what that bitch wearing, like at work or some shit, or you know what I'm saying, or some that are like in relationships with their man, and you know what I'm saying, and being intimidated or jealous by whatever that woman may have. Fuck her. Like, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. Like, you know what I'm saying, as long as you are working on you, I promise you are creating your own thing, you know what I mean? Your own you, rather. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to compete with another woman about that. I wonder what makes a woman feel the need to just like use masculine energy and think that shit's attractive, like to men. And that's another thing. Like, no. Like, what the hell is that? Like, ew, don't nobody want to be with no damn boy. You know what I mean? Like, no straight, like I said, no straight man. Let me be clear for my LGBTQ friendly, you know what I'm saying, viewers and stuff like that. I'm referring to being in a straight relationship between man and woman. And if you don't girl the fuck up, you know what I'm saying, like don't be around me acting like no damn dude. Nah, don't do that shit, man. Don't nobody care about that shit. But I just want to know from a woman's perspective, what makes you think that shit cute, and then try to, you know what I'm saying, brush up on a nigga. Nah, bro, get off me. Go on over there, Earl. Go on, Earl. Take your ass over there, acting like a damn bruh. No, cut that shit out. Honestly, we ain't doing. We ain't down for that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't attractive. You better act feminine when you're around a damn masculine man. Now, if again, you're around a feminine man and he's fine with that masculinicus, then go ahead and have your masculinicus. And what else? Yeah. Why? Another thing. Why do you ask questions to answers that you don't necessarily want to hear? You know, that's another thing. Just like, do I look fat in this dress? All right, listen. Okay, what did you think was gonna happen when you asked the question? I just want to know. You want somebody to feed your ego, or you want the truth? That's the question. That's a bigger question. Do we feed your ego, or do we want the? Or can you accept the truth? Because it creates unnecessary conflict within a relationship based off of your insecurities. Because I mean, if you're fat, I've been fucking with your fat ass. So I mean, so you ask me if I think you're fat or whatever, and I tell you the truth, accept it. I mean, I've been doing it. Ain't like you're gonna change. Ain't like your body changed because you asked it. That type of thing. And I'm just saying, like, if I've already shown you that I'm attracted to this shit, why ask the question? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, these are things I just, again, this is just in my head. You know, it's just in my head. You know, these questions that run through the head. What else goes through the head? I mean, I wonder, what do women think about the, you know, this whole transgender stuff too? You know what I'm saying? In the sense of, like, men becoming women and then taking part in women events and then becoming, like, taking over it, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel some type of way about the opportunities that are taken away from women? And I also wonder, you know, as a sports fan, how come women don't really support the WNBA? You know what I mean? Like, again, it's like, you know, the female empowerment and all that stuff. How come it's not as populated? You know what I mean? Like, there's not a big push behind the WNBA. You know, why do some women keep men out of their children's lives? You know what I mean? That's another thing too. Very, very big question that run through my head, because it takes both of us. Like, there's a child benefits, I believe, most effectively when they have both parents there, and the lives of kids. I mean, I'm sure we know a few folks. I mean, I had a story. There was one guy, my last, I think when I was working in Georgia, and he was telling me how the mother of his two kids pushed him out of their lives at, like, age, they were like 12 and I think 9 or some shit like that. And he wasn't able to see them until they were, like, I think 21 and 24, and they sat down and had a talk. And then they just, they were able to see their mother for the things that she did in regards to their relationship with their father. And it's unfortunate, man. You know what I mean? Like, I just I wonder, like, things like that that come up. You know, what makes why would one want to do that? Of course, you know, it's rhetorical questioning, because it's ego. It all boils down to our egos, man. And ego can be rooted in fear, and you know what I'm saying. So we do things thinking that we want recognition. We all want to be seen. We all want to be heard. But like I said, there was just questions that go through my mind, and I mean, I'm sure some women can answer. I mean, in your own way. I mean, your own perspective from it. But nevertheless, when it comes through questions that run through my mind, shit like that.